Plan B is a backup birth control option that's there for you when things don't go according to plan. It specifically works after unprotected sex and before pregnancy occurs by temporarily delaying ovulation. Plan B is available nationwide at all major retailers and through delivery apps like DoorDash. No ID, prescription, or age requirement. It's the #1 OBGYN recommended brand of emergency contraception, and it won't impact your future fertility. That's freedom to be. Use as directed.
Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh,
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny, your 2-week Vegas hangover. Am I right? This is Trevin.
Oh, you are right. And I'm Amanda, and I am on the struggle bus with you. You guys, we are just now doing our first episode after CrimeCon. And what the hell? It took me, I still don't feel right after leaving Vegas. Like, my time clock got all shifted, and the timing isn't that different from Missouri. So I don't know.
Yeah, the timing threw me off to do the mental math a lot because I'm always used to being a central person, so I'm always doing the math going back for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just something about the hustle and bustle, the lights, everything. I slept good like when I got back, but I think I still had like 2 12-hour nights. I even had a good one last night, but something about it, I'm just still tired.
Same. I'm right there with you. It took me a lot longer to recover than I thought it would. But that's fine. That's fine. But before we get into this special week's episode where we give you guys a ton of really juicy updates of crimes that we've covered in the past, we did just want to do a little recap of CrimeCon Vegas and tell you guys like our favorite moments, our worst moments, our in between, anything and everything for everyone who couldn't come there.
Yes, because we still wanted to like give everybody an update on everything that's going on with us. We want to check in, but we got a little behind on getting the confessions together and everything. So we're doing things a little different. This is not a regular episode. If you're new here, this will have our CrimeCon update, and then we will actually play stories in this. When we did the petties last year, we talked about how cool it was to revisit the stories and talk about them. We figured, let's listen to these stories again, give them our own reactions to them in the future, and also just, I've never ever heard Amanda's real reactions to the final products before.
Right.
And then we can also give the real updates that have actually happened, because there's a twist that one of these is very old that I just did. I'm surprised is a very recent update, but it's a crime long forgotten as far as I'm concerned.
Same. Both of mine are at least a couple years old. Both of mine that I'm going to be sharing, the updates are very recent. I didn't have charges or what the punishments were for either crime, and now I do. So
a proper ending, perhaps.
Exactly.
But if you are new here, this isn't a bad one to listen to. You'll still hear some stories, but if you are new here, welcome and thank you for being here. If you're looking for anything fun, we love to do 420 specials. We do all of our holidays, we go very big. And then in the month of February, we do Florida February. So if you're looking for anything wild, anything from this year's February lineup, episode 231, Men Who Go Bump in the Night, episode 232, Party Till the Cows Come Home. That's the finale. Amanda gets to talk about her favorite animals in this one. So If you're new here and looking for a place to start, go ahead and give that a try, or stick with us here.
This is a great first episode, even though it's not a typical episode. It's kind of like a typical episode, but on steroids, honestly. Because normally we start with our dreadful dilemmas, we play a game, and you get 2 petty crime stories. Today you're going to be getting 3. And although we're skipping the game, it's going to be worth it. Although we're skipping the game, okay?
Yeah, and really, these are like dilemmas and just shared conversations all mixed together. Kind of a game too, really.
Yes. Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about Vegas, there's so many things that I actually really loved about Vegas CrimeCon, but the first thing and the most important thing, that I feel like should be front and center is our live show. It was our very first live show in CrimeCon. We had Aaron from Generation Y and Mackenzie from Dating Detectives. I'm
lovely.
a huge Dating Detectives fan. I've been listening to the show for years. So meeting Mackenzie and Hannah in person was honestly like a dream for me. I was kind of fangirling, kind of like some of our listeners have said to us when they meet us at CrimeCon. Seeing us talking and seeing us in person is kind of a weird thing. You're so used to us just being a weird floating voice, you know?
Yeah, like you're usually just in my head. Now I see you.
Yes. So I was kind of getting that same thing with them, but like in the best way possible. They were amazing guests. We had a great turnout at CrimeCon. The stage setup was amazing. We played our sound effects. We did Vegas Dumbest Criminals. I'm sure you guys, if you haven't listened to it, listen to it after this. It's on our feed now.
Oh, and which, speaking of that, replaying and listening to that, I did screw up the intro track, which really just chaps my ass. But just because I worked so hard on making that original song, I'm going to include it like somewhere right in here, just so you all can hear it, because I put a lot of work into that and I thought it was very funny.
I know. You guys, it was our first time ever doing sound effects live. So we had to get a whole app downloaded, and Trevin was using my laptop, which he's not used to, with the mouse and everything. So yeah, there was that one point where all the sound effects got hit at the same time. Wrong songs were playing at the wrong time, but we are the silly show of the crew, so I think everyone forgave us and thought that any mistakes made were endearing, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't sweat it personally. I was just like upset that the song didn't get its due, really.
Yeah, same. You put a lot of effort into it, so the people deserve to hear it.
I agree.
Some criminals, yeah. Some criminals, now we're doing it in Vegas, baby.
I loved our live show. We had the best crowd. I mean, my God, we had all of our friends like sitting front row center stage right there.
I didn't realize just how much of a difference the sound effect for correct or incorrect. Like, I thought this will be a fun bit of production because that's just, how I think, and I like that. But I didn't think that just how much, when people heard the ring, people, oh yeah, and they just start clapping, and I thought, oh, I hold so much emotional power with these buttons.
No shit. I was thinking the exact same thing. People were like dead ass quiet, waiting to see if they got it right. And then as soon as they heard the ding, 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 or whatever it was, they were like, woo! And as soon as they heard the woo, the siren, they were like, oh,
yeah.
And also, like, people were really getting into it, too, like, whispering to their partner or to their friends or whoever they were sitting next to. Like, I kept hearing them, like, oh, I think it's A. I think it's this. And it didn't bother me. Like, I actually loved it. I loved that the audience was invested. So that's definitely a fun listen.
I absolutely love that. And also, I did want to say, on my part, meeting Mackenzie and Hannah was absolutely... It was better than I even imagined it would be. I'm not a person who listens weekly to the show, but I've just always admired Mackenzie from her Instagram, and then also just Hannah seems very funny from everything, and I just loved meeting both of them. They're such genuine people, and I just felt very connected to them in conversation right off the bat. So it was really awesome to get to meet them, and it's so nice when you do meet somebody for the first time saying like, hey, nice meeting you in person for the first time. We're doing a show together today. So it's also nice to have that. And of course, my boy Aaron did great. And, we love our Gen Y guys.
We love our Generation Y guys. For those who know, we've known them since when we first were little baby podcasters, and they also live in Kansas City. So they are the most humble, amazing, loving guys. We just love them. They've done so much for us over the years of hopping on our show as guests just whenever we want them. And to be that successful and that well known in the community, but to remain that humble is something I really admire about them. So, yeah.
My mother-in-law actually sent something to Emily. It was a couple months ago. A library not too far from here was doing like a true crime something. And you know how like in-laws are just like, this would be something Jordan might be interested in. It has like one teeny weeny thing that relates to him. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that. But those two guys they were actually there, and they talked to the people at the library. And I'm like, God, that's so humble and cool. Like they just went to the little library. And like when I went to the library, I went and saw like 3 kids on Heelys doing a yo-yo tricks while techno music played. So that's like the kind of entertainment I expect at a library. So if I were to go in and see like the founding fathers of true crime sitting there, whoa, I stumbled into the right library.
Yeah, no shit. Not just some random kids on wheelies, you know? Oh my God. Well, speaking of connections made, I wanted to give a few shout outs. It's another thing I loved about this year and every year really is the connections that we either made or continue to grow. We met Abby Blabby, who is actually going to be on next week reading the CrimeCon confessions that people left us at our booth. And you guys, I haven't read them yet. It's all going to be a surprise to me, except for a couple of people did tell me a little synopsis of what they wrote. Ooh, we are in for it. I already know.
And I know Abby's going to be a lot of fun. Abby, she had the table next to us. We had never met her before. Our friend Kylie, who we did...
Crime with Kylie.
Yeah, she did Crime with Kylie. And then we did Kylie's Eras tours for her not too long ago. We were sandwiched in between those lovely ladies, and the whole day, it was just so much fun. And then after each night, it was just like, hey, are we going to go out and get some drinks? And so it was really nice hitting it off with Abby and really feeling like we had made ourselves a little friend clique.
Oh my God, I know. I loved them so much. And it was just nice seeing our other friends too. Oh, you guys, I also met and spoke to Chris Hansen. He came over to Abby's booth that was right next to us. And as he was walking away, I was like, bitch, this is your chance. Like, you've been seeing this man for years at CrimeCon. You've always been too nervous to say anything. So I was like, Chris, wait.
She finally did it, guys.
And I went up to him and I was like, Chris Hansen, I have been a fan of yours since I was a tiny tot. And he was just like, you know, in his typical Chris Hansen fashion.
I thought he was going to tell her to take a seat.
Yeah, take a seat, you freak. He was very sweet, so that was a great moment for me. Another amazing part of CrimeCon were all the dogs.
Oh my God, guys. I mean, we know that our listeners are animal fans, but this place, every year, we always come back with a good amount of pictures of dogs. But Vegas had the most because of a great organization called Courtroom Critters.
Yes, go follow them, go support them. If you live in the Vegas area, you can actually use their services. Courtroom Critters, oh my God, I wanted to give them the biggest shout out. They basically have a bunch of different types, like all vastly different types of breeds. Yeah, they're all therapy dogs that are trained to help people who have to like testify in court or be a part of a really stressful trial. But we met so many that I had to make a separate reel just focusing on the dogs of CrimeCon, because let's get real, they were the stars of the show.
They really were. I keep telling our friend that's one of the coordinators of CrimeCon, like, you want to collab on doing Therapy Dog Con? I think that would get a better turnout. I'd be really into it. They were so cool. Like, the lines to get your badge on the first day were so long. They said that they just chose to come walk the dogs up and down the lines to keep people company while they were in the long lines. And you can just tell the people that work for them, they were probably volunteers, but I mean, you could just tell they were really happy to be doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we fell in love with so many different dogs. Had some really cool ones.
Oh, and the other organization I wanted to give a shout out to is Nevada SPCA, Southern Nevada's original no-kill nonprofit shelter for homeless pets. They provided an entire little lawn of just adorable puppies. Just small, little, adorable puppies. So shout out to both of you guys. Without all the dogs, I just don't think it would have been as cheerful. Not even
totally.
close.
And they wheeled the puppies in on, like, it was just a big,
was
like a big stroller.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a big puppy pile stroller, and they unzipped it or whatever, and there's all these little brown puppies everywhere. So cute.
I loved them. The only other two things, and these aren't really CrimeCon related at all, they're more hotel related things that I loved. The pool was one of the most amazing pools. And I say pool singular, but Caesar's Palace had like, I shit you not, like 5 to 7 pools. I don't
So
know
many
how
pools.
many. Yeah. They had this main one that was like Colosseum looking, like the little the columns and
Like
the
a big circular
fountains.
structure. Yeah.
Yes, it was so good. I made Jordan get thirst traps of me. It was, and I'm sorry, I hate to rub this in because you didn't get to really have as much downtime and like peace and quiet as I feel like I did, but I think it was so good for me that I did get to get that pool day the day before it started. Just relaxing, getting to know the area. It just made me more calm, you know?
It really does make a huge difference, especially when it's something like this.
Yes. And then I know that Trevin didn't get to go. We almost did go with him again. But the other and last thing I just want to give a shout out to is the buffet. I love a Vegas buffet.
Do you remember the name of that one?
It's called like the Bacchanal buffet or
yeah,
something.
like 2 C's in it. Yeah.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's the buffet in Caesar's Palace. And you guys, apparently it's one of the biggest ones in Vegas, I guess. And I could see why.
I know the line to it looked like the biggest in Vegas.
The line was always really packed. The hotel itself, I just kept being like, "Oh, The Hangover was filmed here. I know this. I know that." I've never been to Caesar's Palace before, so I loved the hotel other than it being extremely easy to get lost in. And
Yeah, very hard to navigate.
Yeah, and that's actually on my negative list. Did you have any other positives you wanted to talk about, though, Trevin? Anything I didn't cover?
Okay, so my positives. I guess my main positive is I want to give a shout out to my girl Alicia and all of our friends with company.
Podcast Her.
Yeah, they called themselves the Podcast Hers. It's Jules and our girls from Weird True Crime,
Kadra.
It was just a huge, awesome girl group.
Like Mother, Like Murder.
Yeah, like Murder. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. They're like the spirit group. Everywhere you go, you just a ray of sunshine and happiness. And I loved seeing Jules get her own table. And she was the table behind us, behind the curtain. So anytime things were going slow or whatever, I would just creep through the curtain and then sometimes sit at her booth. So it was a very fun time. And I loved seeing them there. And I don't know. For me, it felt like a new energy to it, which I haven't felt a new positive energy in anything in a very long time. So that was very nice to be a part of. Like the people was probably one of my favorite things altogether was not just those people, but everybody. Everybody was pretty good spirits. It was great conversation. And I forget that when you talk to podcasters, you're speaking to other people who are used to just talking. And so they've dug deep and they know how to have a conversation. And
Yes.
sometimes in the polite Midwest, you don't get that.
Totally. There's a lot of people who do not know how to conversate out there in the world today. But yeah, a group of podcasters, all we know how to do is talk to each other. So it's always a great time.
Yeah. And then my other positive I would say is on the streets, I got handed a lot of naked lady pictures. And
That's right.
I told Emily I was going to collect them all, and I'm sure I didn't get them all, but that was one of the fun things about it was just, it's a lot better than, trying to be sold something stupid.
Right. It's like, instead of somebody trying to convince you to join an MLM, it's like, here's a titty,
Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't want to give you money, but it's like also, I feel less inclined to throw this away.
Exactly. Great marketing tactic. Although we both loved like the design of the hotel and things like that, I have to say on my things that I didn't love, I kept getting lost. If I didn't have you or Jordan with me at all time, I'm already directionally challenged.
You did
like
struggle.
I'm good with like my north, northeast, southwest usually, but I just am not good at memorizing like how to get places. Like I'm one of those people who still uses my GPS even though I probably don't need to, kind of thing. So that was a little hard. Also, because I kept getting lost, I had to keep memorizing things in really weird ways. Like there was a gigantic number 9.
Oh, yeah.
So when you got out of the elevator, it was either you go this way or that way. And on that way, there was a big number 9 for the restaurant. So I just kept being like, 9 equals crime, 9 equals crime, like
She would
all
say that
weekend.
at really random points, even before I was even sure what the context of it meant. She's like, 9 equals crime. I'm like, huh? Okay, yeah. Like, whatever your third eye is telling you, let's go.
I know. The way that it was very difficult to get to our booth in general.
Yeah.
But also, like when we had CrimeCon at Denver or like smaller places, there was only like one main central hangout bar that everyone would like gather at afterwards and chat. And because Vegas is so amazing and it's like
So
the
much
city
variety.
of constant entertainment, everyone was kind of broken up and in their own groups, which is fine. We still had a hell of a time.
Oh, yeah.
But I do like to have the whole crew together when we can.
Yeah, like all the other places, it would basically just be like, well, if I wander the hallways long enough, I'm going to run into like, oh, somebody I know and I can find something to do. But
Yeah.
it was not really possible, no matter, because there was just so many hallways. That was the thing for me. It's like, I'm not directionally challenged, but the way the building was set up is like everything's kind of a weird circle. And so like,
Yeah.
I want to go this way, but I have to go that way or that way. Also, that's just made to have like multiple hallways to where they can kind of keep trying to sell you different things. And that was one bad thing for me is I just felt, and not just the hotel, but I mean like in the whole city, everywhere
Yeah.
you go was just an opportunity to try to sell you something. And although I love people watching and I love wandering, there is something about Vegas that it's like, if you're going there and trying to like watch your spending, you are going to be reminded 100 times an hour that you are having the dollar menu version of Vegas and that
Yeah.
everybody's
Oh.
having way more fun and doing way more things than you. And there is a part of being in the presence of it where you feel like that FOMO of like, I wish I had money and wasn't a poor shit.
Oh, trust and believe. I was thinking that the entire pool day because I was like, wouldn't it be nice to have one of those drinks in a pineapple? And then I saw the price and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to save my $36 and
Yeah.
just drink a water. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely a buzzkill for us balling on a budget. But
Oh my God.
we made
so
the most
budget.
of it. Also, Trevin, I didn't know if you wanted to share this. One of your main problems of the whole trip was
My
that
weed
you just
dilemma.
wanted to buy some weed. You couldn't.
So I had the most annoying run-in. This was going to be like massive dilemma, but I'll try to say it kind of quicker here. So I am not one of those criminals who would ever fly with any of my stuff in a suitcase.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just not one of those people. It's like, hey, you're going to Vegas anyway. And it's like, that's kind of the fun. If you're going to go to a place that has it, just, try what they have. That's the fun. Same thing with food. It's like, I'm not going to pack my lunch. Anyway, I landed there and I had to get an Uber and decided, well, maybe I'll just have an Uber that takes you 2 different places. I'll get just something for the weekend and then, make my second stop at the hotel. And I was really overwhelmed with the airport and then also the Uber pickup. That by the time I had made the online order and they called to reserve it or whatever, I had accidentally, from the 2 location choices, picked the wrong one. So I told the guy, I was like, cancel it. So I had made one order and canceled it. Then my Uber picked me up. My Uber seemed grumpy. Everybody seems grumpy in Vegas because they are inconvenienced 24/7. So they took me straight there. And then, of course, I get into Caesar's Palace. I'm inundated by lights and sounds and everything. So I'm overwhelmed by that point. I was supposed to meet up with our friend Alicia. And next door to where they were at for dinner, there was another dispensary. So I said, okay, I got to Uber to this dinner place, so I might as well do that. So I made an order to the dispensary next door to the dinner place. I made the Uber, and the Uber person can only pick you up in a specific Uber place. And it takes like 100 hours to walk from one side of that place to another, especially if you don't know it. and I did not know how to get to where he was at. I kept getting these messages that just said, I am arrived. And I said, I'm so sorry. I don't even know where I am, but I'm trying to get to you. I hurried until he canceled on me. So I was already feeling like really annoying / disappointed. And a little bit after that, Alicia had said that Keija was not feeling well and they were no longer at the dinner place. So then I no longer had to go to the dinner place where the dispensary was, but I was still just like, okay, I'll just walk there. It was only like a mile and a half. I started walking. And to talk about the city, there's not like big crosswalks. It's a lot of people bridges, and they're kind of like not the direction you think they're going to go, and you'll veer off.
Which it didn't used to be like that. I mean, I'm sure they were there the last time I was there, but I don't remember them being so prevalent.
Yeah, they weren't convenient. They weren't for me, but I ended up walking for quite some time until I looked at my phone, and then it told me that I was now 40 minutes away instead of 30 minutes away. And then I ended up walking back to a place where it said there was a dispensary, but then it was a fake delivery business that was calling a sidewalk their location. So I stood at a sidewalk that was unmarked and cried. The next day, I told you guys there was one company that had a website that was set up just like my website at home, and it has delivery. I've never done it before, but I said I'll do it. Set my delivery up, and then they called me on Saturday as I was talking with people at the convention, and they said, you're at a casino. And I said, yeah, okay. And they said, we can only deliver to residential places.
Oh, God.
I even said, like, I'll meet you somewhere if you want me to. And they said, no, it has to be like a residential. And I said, put it away then. So I ended up making 3 different orders that all 3 got put away.
It's not as easy as you think in Vegas, apparently, to get that reefer.
I had ladies like throwing themselves all over the sidewalks, but I couldn't get a little vape pen. What's going on? The city of sin, but it's only certain sins, apparently.
Clearly. That really was dreadful for you. I actually felt pretty bad for you about that. But
it was becoming comical at a certain point, and
it's like, this just is not going to happen.
Like, what's going to happen this time? Let's see.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Then for another negative, I ended up having a huge airport issue. My flight was already delayed an hour from Vegas, which was not a huge big deal.
Was it delayed before the storm?
I think it was delayed before. And so I was like, oh, great, I got to kill more time. And then we were in the air. I couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work this time. It was a later flight, so I wasn't going to get home till about midnight 30. Emily went to bed with a really awkward alarm clock to get up because she wanted to come pick me up. It's like a 2-hour and 30-minute airplane ride. Mm-hmm. We get to the airport, and it's really cool. I took some videos. Like, you can just see the lightning like around us, and they're like, hey, the lightning is happening right above the airport. We can't land there. So they said, we'll circle for 15 minutes and check again. So we circled the airport for 15 minutes. They got back on and said, yep, that's still happening. We'll check back with you in 30 minutes. And then after that, I was thinking in my head, like, they're going to need fuel or something.
Oh, God.
And a little bit after that, they said, we need fuel. So they drove us to Omaha, Nebraska, landed for fuel. And then the second they got to the like loading bay or whatever, the pilot got out of the cockpit and ran away. And then they sent somebody else who worked for him and said, oh, the pilot's out of hours and can't take you home. You guys are here until tomorrow afternoon.
Wow.
When we were in the air and they were telling us, they just said, oh, it's just for fuel. But it's like, I think you guys knew what you were doing.
That is, wow.
So I tried to sleep in a very small airport that only had one little store in it. It was just a time.
I'm so sorry. Usually, if there's like issues, they usually like put people up in hotels, but
they did not offer us anything. They even said, if you want to rent a car and drive the 3 hours home, you can, but our rental place won't be open until blah, 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 blah.
Oh, like, my freaking God.
So we still had to sit there for like 3 hours. It was a mess. It was a huge mess.
What a shit show.
I was up for like 34 hours, I think. It was...
Barf.
Yikes.
Well, that is horrendous. But overall, I actually had a great time.
I did too. It was a great memories. Even Emily and I were talking, and she was sad she didn't get to go. But I think looking back, it's like for the best in a lot of ways because of just how active and on the move I had to be socially and networking wise. And it all worked out the way it was supposed to, I think. And I don't think I would choose to go there again unless I was wealthy and I didn't have anything else to do, because it's hard to navigate Vegas while having a secondary task.
Totally.
If your task is just Vegas, well, hell yeah, then just wander. That's fine.
Absolutely.
But you will lose all your money even if you're not gambling, because everything's expensive.
No, it's so expensive. My God. Well, Trevin,
Yes, my dear.
I think it might be time for us to jump in to our story update section. What do you think?
I'm into it.
So, you guys, I'm going to go first this week, and this is a big one. This is a big update that a lot of people know about, a crime that a lot of people know the criminal's name, and it actually was the very first celebrity criminal we featured on our show. And
This is a greatest hit story, I feel, for sure.
Yes, yes. And that celeb is Justin Timberlake. If you guys remember, he was arrested for a DUI. I covered the story in 2024, but since then, there have been a lot of updates, including the dash cam footage, which I only had little bits and quotes of things that he said in the back of the cop cruiser, and that he said, I don't even think I got quotes from his sobriety field test or anything. Like, I didn't have any of that info. Yeah.
It was just like the misunderstanding in the beginning. It was just like, who are you? And this is going to ruin the tour.
Yes, yes. So let's listen back to my story from episode 165 named This Is Going to Ruin the Tour. And then I will hit you, baby, one more time with the recent updates.
Oh, yeah.
In a society where anyone can become a star, a celebrity hierarchy was established to sort out the brightest from the dull. Local celebrities fill out the bottom of this diagram, including pageant winners at the state fair, or small-town musicians with a YouTube channel.
This is a song called Wonderwall.
Then starts the alphabet of celebrity lists, with A at the very top and D being dead last. D-listers may include contestants who went on one season of a dating show, or comedians who offended every person they tried to make laugh.
So people with differing beliefs from me, they're all wrong, am I right?
C-listers are like D-listers, but hot. B-listers have more social media followers than C-listers and get invited to the exclusive party of the A-listers. Yet, only a select few of exceptional celebrities will make it to the very top, opening the golden door of opportunities that await, only to those with a key to the A-list. I love you! The rise to stardom sounds glamorous, and at the same time, viciously competitive. But I'm sure all of the scrutiny and invasion of privacy is worth it to get a free pass at life to do whatever you want, right? Today's story is about a celebrity who spent decades on the coveted A-list. His talents ranging from singing in perfect harmony with 4 other guys to flexing his bushy eyebrows on the big screen. He has sold out stadiums across the world, married one of the most gorgeous actresses to exist, and is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet, even the brightest of stars can fall, opening the possibility of kissing their place on the A-list. Bye, 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 bye. On a summer day in 2024, Justin Timberlake was having a great day being a super rich and famous celebrity. He took a luxurious bubble bath that morning while he scrolled Instagram to read loving comments from his 72.6 million followers. He spent the rest of his day surrounded by his posse, which included people who were equal parts employees, friends, and ass-kissers. Justin worked out his body and warmed up his vocals, making sure to drink plenty of expensive water in between. He then rested for a while as his posse members showered him with compliments.
You're bringing sexy back.
It was a normal day for Justin as he was in between concerts promoting his latest album everything I thought it was. The traveling concerts were called the Forget Tomorrow World Tour. It had an ironic name, as Justin couldn't wait to go out with his posse that night and forget all about tomorrow. He was currently in Sag Harbor, New York, and had dinner reservations for that evening at the American Hotel. Not only was it a night off from singing, it was also a night away from his wife and kids. Although his wife, Jessica Biel, was also in New York, she was preoccupied with filming for an upcoming movie. Justin drove to the restaurant alone to meet back up with his inner circle. Once he arrived at the American Hotel restaurant, he and his posse were led to a private room. The crew dined on fancy apps, fresh seafood, and threw back the largest martinis they had ever seen. Whoa. Over the past few years, Justin had been feeling as tightly wound as his once signature curly hairstyle. A handful of years earlier, he was accused of holding hands with someone other than his hot wife. And it was only last year when his iconic ex released a book, proving that he really was a dick in a box. With all the pressure Justin was under, with his tour, image, and life in general, it was nice for him to let loose with pricey martinis and friend groupies.
Who do you think will drink the most tonight, Justin?
One thirsty pal asked the 10-time Grammy Award winner. Justin looked at his inferior posse member and replied with confidence,
"It's gonna be me."
They laughed as Justin reminisced on his time in the Mickey Mouse Club and cried as he told his side of why his boy band broke up.
I guess we weren't in sync.
It was a wild night, filled with nostalgia and liquor, and came to an end shortly after midnight once Justin decided it was time to go night-night. A few of Justin's crew members were concerned about Justin driving himself home after a night of drinking, but he told them he was fine and that he would follow the rest of them who rode in a separate vehicle. Justin slid into the front seat of his gray 2025 BMW and turned his music on shuffle, only to be greeted with the familiar intro chords to Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time. Instead of changing the haunting tune, he hit the gas with full force, speeding past the stop sign in front of the restaurant.
Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know
Justin sped into the road.
that something wasn't right?
His ex-girlfriend's song distorted into slow motion as Justin squinted his eyes to see.
When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign.
Just then, Justin saw police lights behind him.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
He was suddenly jolted back to normal speed, allowing him to turn off the music and pull off to the side of the street. The car full of his posse members also parked nearby Justin and the cop. Stepping out of the police vehicle was a young cop who was new to the force. Yet, he didn't let his inexperience affect his confidence level. The newbie officer knew exactly what power he held and was over-prepared to use it. The officer approached Justin's driver's side door, prompting the boy band idol to roll down his window.
License and registration.
The young officer demanded without any expression on his beardless face. It wasn't the greeting Justin had grown accustomed to, but he did what the officer requested. As he handed over his documents, Justin asked,
Do you happen to know who I am? You see, I was just following my friends home, and I would love if I could get on my way home.
The cop raised his eyebrows at the heavy scent of alcohol coming from Justin's mouth and shook his head.
No, I do not know who you are, but according to your driver's license, you are Justin, and according to my recollection, you also blew past the stop sign and swerved into another lane. How much have you had to drink tonight?
I just had one martini.
Justin wailed. Tears started to pool up in his blue eyes. Nevertheless, the seemingly remorseful pop star and his tears had zero effect on the officer.
Oh, brother, cry me a river.
The young man in blue said coolly, taking the license and registration back to his vehicle.
Wait, that's the name of a song of mine.
Justin yelled after the cop, but it was no use. He sat there, alone in his BMW, at the mercy of a cop who had no idea who he was. He felt more vulnerable than he had when he exposed Janet Jackson's nipple on live television.
Now it's a party.
The cop returned, telling Justin to exit his vehicle for a field sobriety test. This was a task he had trained his whole life for. Fancy footwork under pressure was Justin's entire young adulthood. Although the audience was small and the lighting was shit on the side of the dark road, Justin was ready to make some magic happen. He was instructed to walk a straight line, balance on one foot, and make a simple turn. But to Justin's horror, each task was more difficult than the last.
Looks like your feet simply aren't in sync.
The officer said in a deadpan manner.
Oh, come on! You have to know me!
On to the breathalyzer test.
The cop continued on, without acknowledgement to Justin's bruised ego.
Absolutely not! I refuse to take that test!
Justin whined. His posse members echoed the sentiment from their parked car, begging for him to be let go.
Come on, man. He was in the social network.
If you refuse this test, then I'll need to take you to the station with me.
The officer said, quickly cuffing Justin Timberlake and putting him in the back of his cruiser. The police cruiser took off down the dark street, leaving Justin's posse in the dust. It was quiet in the back seat until finally, Justin spoke to himself under his breath.
This is going to ruin the tour!
The cop looked up at his rearview mirror and asked without interest.
What tour?
Justin sniffled before managing to reply.
The world tour!
There was an awkward pause between the men before the officer offered up his best advice.
You know what they say about making mistakes? What goes around comes back around.
On Monday, June 17th, 2024, 43-year-old Justin Timberlake went out to eat with friends at the American Hotel in Sag Harbor, New York. Around 12:30 a.m., an officer spotted a gray 2025 BMW running a stop sign and veering out of its lane. The officer pulled the vehicle over and quickly determined the driver was intoxicated. An insider told Page 6 that the cop who pulled Justin Timberlake over was so young that he didn't recognize him or his name. According to police reports, the officer described the driver as the following.
His eyes were bloodshot and glassy. A strong odor of an alcoholic beverage was emanating from his breath. He was unable to divide attention. He had slowed speech. He was unsteady of foot, and he performed poorly on all standardized field sobriety tests.
Police reports also state that Justin told the officer he had one martini and was following some friends home. Sources told TMZ that his friends tried to intervene on his behalf, to no avail. Justin was then handcuffed and driven to a police station in nearby East Hampton. Page 6 sources stated that on the drive home, Justin said under his breath, "This is going to ruin the tour." The cop replied, "What tour?" And Justin said, "The world tour." Court papers stated that Justin refused a breath test and that he listed his occupation as professional and said that he's self-employed. JT was then charged with 1 count of driving while intoxicated and 2 other traffic violations, not stopping at a stop sign and failure to stay in a proper lane of travel. His next court date was scheduled and announced for July 26th of this year. On Wednesday, June 19th, Justin's attorney Edward Burke Jr. released a statement obtained by People magazine, saying,
Mr. Burke looks forward to vigorously defending Mr. Timberlake against these allegations. He will have a lot to say at the appropriate time. He is currently awaiting for full discovery from the DA's office.
At the time of this recording, there has been no comment made by the criminal celeb himself. However, a mugshot is worth 1,000 words. His mugshot was later released to the public, showing a stoic Justin with glassy red eyes and pursed lips. This story is proof that even those at the very top of the celebrity pyramid can fall from grace. It is also proof
that someone worth millions still avoids paying for an overpriced Uber. If I had any advice for Justin, it would be not to martini and drive. Also, he should really look into his own lyrics when trying to apologize to Jessica Biel for his actions. I'll leave you all with my recommended apology excerpt from Sexy Back. Dirty babe, you see these shackles, baby? I'm your slave. I'll let you whip me if I misbehave. It's just that no one makes me feel this way.
Wow, sir.
I still want to say take it to the chorus after hearing
Take it
that.
to the chorus. Wow, can I just say, I haven't listened to that one in so long, but the music that you chose, beautiful. I love the intro and outro. It's kind of like, it's kind of like got that like
It's like a dubsteppy sort of.
yeah, dubstep vibes. But then during like the story portion, it's like very much like boy pop band music.
I was definitely going for an NSYNC sound-alike for the background
Yeah.
on that one.
No, that crushed. So, of course, since I wrote that story, the full dash cam was released, which I'm going to get into. JT actually fought it for, like, legally fought a battle of not wanting the footage to be released. And there are still things redacted. They kind of had to, like, go back and forth through court about what they were going to be releasing. But
The Timberlake files.
yes, the Timberlake files. Oh, shit. But the part that I did watch, I have some thoughts that I wrote down that I wanted to share with everyone. Watching JT throw his hands up when the guy was like, "Who are you?" And he was just kind of like, "I'm Justin Timberlake." Like, I don't know if you watched it, but he kind of like threw his hands up like a little child that got caught.
I did watch it, but it was a bit like right when it very first came out.
I kind of touched on it in the original story, but the fact that this man has been doing choreographed dance routines his entire life, okay?
Yeah.
And to see him struggle as hard as he did is just proof that he was definitely fucked up.
Yeah, because as any entertainer, you know how to do your thing drunk.
He couldn't do the basic of steps and was acting like he was so overwhelmed. At one point, he even said, "By the way, these tests are like really hard tests." It's comical seeing a guy who is like known for his fancy footwork not be able to just step in a straight line, heel to toe.
Yeah, and he was definitely more drunk than how they made it sound. And even at the ending of your story there, where whoever it was, his attorney said like, "Oh, we look for full discovery." And it's like, well, now that we have discovery, I don't know why you're so confident about having it.
No, exactly. And based on the fact that he was so anti letting it get out, is like, you knew you were doing something wrong. Also, when they ask him to do the breathalyzer in the video, Justin is like, "Yeah, nah." His response is like so immature, like an immature preteen who doesn't want to do their chores.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end, you see a female friend. In the story, I wrote it as a male because it didn't say who he was following or who he was with.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, a female friend, in quotes, maybe it wasn't a friend, and some
Holding
people
hands,
have...
perhaps?
Well, some people have theories that the reason why he was fighting so hard was because he allegedly, this lady was more than just a friend. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I have zero clue. But the woman comes up to the officer and she's like, "Please do me a favor. If you like Bye 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 or Sexy Back, just please let him go." She's maybe one of the most cringy parts of the whole
Wow.
thing.
So it kind of almost is like what I wrote. Like, he was in The Social Network, but instead
No,
it was a lady
literally.
who just said, he made these songs.
No, literally. So I found a good article from thehollywoodreporter.com that did a pretty good job of talking about the updates that have happened and what he was charged with. So I'm going to read a little bit from this article. The title is Justin Timberlake's DUI arrest legal battle ends as internet frenzy begins. And apparently there are 8 hours of footage that have been released. I didn't watch all of that.
That's a lot of footage. My God.
No, I don't have the time. And I guess the footage goes on to like even him being like booked and all that. I didn't watch any of that. I'll be truthful about that. I don't even know if you can watch it all online, but this is what it says. The release of 8 hours of footage surrounding the Grammy winner's arrest was not something the former boy band frontman turned actor or his team wanted millions of people to see. As soon as the release was announced at the beginning of March, Timberlake's legal team filed for a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction to prevent the town from making the footage public. That Monday, his attorneys met with the Sag Harbor judge, arguing that releasing the unedited footage would constitute an invasion of privacy. They requested either a block on the release or a private judicial review of the potentially embarrassing material.
Isn't it nice to be so privileged that you're just like, I should be able to fight this in court if it's going to embarrass me. If
Good
my
God,
mistake's going to embarrass me, please.
Do you know how many of our petty criminals would, if they could, get their shit erased? And yeah, JT's like, or that's Michael Jackson, but you know what I mean. He's
Yeah.
like, come on, let me do it. I'm JT.
Did they say what he got?
Yes. So there is a quote that was so dramatic from his attorney, Edward Burke Jr., saying that the release would devastate Timberlake's privacy by revealing intimate, highly personal, and sensitive details, and that it would cause severe and irreparable harm to the singer's reputation.
It is the Timberlake files.
No,
That's exactly what they
literally.
said.
No, Trevin, he fought hard for this. He didn't want any of it to be released, but
But it'll hurt my friends.
the footage was ultimately released Friday after a heated back and forth between the singer's legal team. They agreed on a partially redacted version. Still, the arrest's most memorable moments captured throughout the redacted video, Timberlake approved footage, had already delighted millions as they rapidly spread online. In the summer of 2024, a Suffolk County judge accepted Timberlake's guilty plea as a part of a deal that lessened his punishment and allowed the pop star to avoid further jail time. As part of his plea deal, the singer agreed to 25 to 40 hours of community service and to pay a fine.
Wow.
Imagine seeing JT just out here doing his community service. Like, I wonder if he got to choose where he did it, if it's more of a private community service. I mean, he's not out here
Probably.
on the highway picking up trash with a stick.
No way. He'd get a sunburn.
He just had to spend the one night in jail or whatever. And then, 25 to 40 hours. The fine, it didn't say in this article how much the fine was. Let me see if I can find that, actually. So Justin Timberlake paid a $500 fine plus a $260 surcharge for a total of $760. That's like equivalent to like $1 for us.
Yeah, that's nothing for him. Oh my God. He probably spent more than that on his meal that he just left.
He definitely spent more on the martinis for sure.
Yeah, that's wild. I love taking the trip back to it, but you were pretty much right, though, in ways where you were saying like he was stumbling and not doing good. You knew it wasn't going to look good for him when we did see it.
Honestly, I feel like for the most part, I got a lot of it right without even having this conclusion. But it is kind of funny to see like what a big deal it was and how, honestly, his main punishment, it seems like, was the videos being published and him looking like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, because it certainly didn't ruin the tour.
Yeah, it didn't ruin the world tour. Also, looking back at this on Spotify, we do have a comment under this episode from a year ago from Anna Lee, and it says, I'm saving this episode as one of my faves to listen to when I need a laugh. Y'all are genuinely making the world a better place. In all caps, thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that.
That was a good episode. I don't know if this is the episode that Knockers was
That
released.
is the exact same episode. Yep.
Is it? Because there's
Yep.
another comment
We
about
went
the
double
Knockers
celebrity.
song. Wow.
Because
We
my
did
story was the Madonna concert story.
That's right.
That will have to go on our
Wow.
greatest hits thing that I was talking
That
about.
will
to tell
go
people
on our
to go to.
greatest hits. They have to. That is such a good episode. Episode 165, you guys.
And welcome back. I've got one that also, this one happened in 2024, and I saw a thing pop up on it. I was actually doing some research that I like to do for the show, find some absurd news, and these people were like, oh, this recent viral thing about these people who were in a bear suit. And I'm like, old news. We already covered it. Like, this is people just talking about what they got sentenced to. So we now have a sentencing. But before we even talk about the sentencing, we'll have to revisit the story. What do you remember about this, or what do you think about this before we get into it?
So you've done a couple different bear costume situations. There was the one where the burglar like climbed into a stuffed bear, and then there was one where someone was wearing a bear suit, and then they like broke into a car.
That's this one.
It is that one. Okay.
Yes.
This is a little bit of an older one. I mean, not as old as my next one's about to be. Holy hell.
Yeah, so this one came from episode 183, When Squirrels Collide, and that's actually 20 after, so it's actually newer than JT.
Wow. Okay. I do remember the footage vaguely that it was like a security cam or something, and it was like showing the fake bear going through all the stuff in the car. But I'm not remembering actually a ton. I'm kind of excited to hear this one back.
Oh yeah, this is a fun one. I remember, well, obviously I wrote it, but it's one of my like detective-y type stories, but instead of a detective, it's an insurance guy because the whole thing is about insurance fraud.
That's right. I love a detective perspective.
Detective perspective. It was like a ring camera or something. Like one of the videos I remember was basically like a front porch cam of somebody's house.
Yeah.
But yeah, not good quality. But yeah, it was a great story that I consider almost to be like a greatest hit for me. I loved it. It's so lucky that both these first two updates are of the greatest hits variety. So let's do this thing. Animals are wild, unpredictable, and occasionally petty. From Papa Dennis's bird murder dog to an oddly threatening racing pigeon, we've covered many animal atrocities. These critters don't follow our rules, partly because they don't speak our language. And honestly, that's probably for the best. The last thing I need is the squirrels in my trees getting brainwashed by Fox News. The truth is, animals are an essential part of our show. And judging by that spicy topical jab from that hypothetical tree rat, it's clear a lot of us are feeling some type of way right now, no matter where we land on the spectrum of human decency. So in the spirit of escaping modern chaos, or at least understanding it a little better, let's dive into the fascinating world of animal crime. These stories remind us that nature's pettiness was alive and well long before politics ever entered the chat. So keep your bear mace and shark repellent close at hand. We're about to take a walk on the wild side. Because when you cross paths with an untamed beast, things don't just get dangerous, they get downright primal.
General Nondescript Insurance Company, how may we assist you with your claim today?
The bear! The bear attacked my Rolls Royce, my beautiful, luxurious baby. What?
Sweet Jesus!
No, not Jesus, a bear. Like Winnie the Pooh, but this one has claws and it shreds fine leather interiors.
I'm so sorry. Hang tight. I've got just the man for this job.
Another beautiful day in my beautiful town, San Bernardino. Sure, we're famous for the original McDonald's Museum and the rim of the World Highway. But if you ask me, we ought to be recognized for something else entirely. Our legendary volume of insurance claims. That's where I come in. The name's Dill Frond. top insurance inspector of 2023 for the General Nondescript Insurance Company. That title didn't come easy, folks. Countless hours of investigating and unwavering dedication earned me the honors of having my face on that $10 plaque.
You go, Jill!
And now every single day of 2024 is dedicated to proving to my bosses and shareholders that I was the right choice. January came in swinging, and I'm already neck deep in claims. This is typical. Christmas surprises gone wrong. Surprise! Operator error with a shiny new dirt bike. Or brand new vehicles getting broken into. These are the bread and butter of claims that kick off every year. But a bear claim? Or more specifically, 3 bear claims? Let's just say there's a reason they put their best inspector on the case. And if these paying customers think I'm signing off on an insurance payout without a fight, they're about to meet their second bear in this nightmare. Me, the bearer of bad news. The front of Ruben Tamrazian's place seems like a nice, quiet enough neighborhood where I don't feel rushed to get out of my car. This buys me a little time to review my notes before going in. Client called in this month, saying that they walked out to see their 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost was torn up. After checking their security camera's footage, they found that a bear had broken in and damaged the vehicle. Oh, and there's a link to the footage. The video technically has no sound, but since you're hearing the voice in my head, maybe the audio in my head can reflect the quality of the video I'm seeing. Let's try. Grrr, I'm a fucking bear. Fuck this car. I'll bump it. Grrr. Let's see if their passenger door is unlocked. Sweet, luxurious leathers. Time to poke some shit. Oh, crumbs in the back seat? Fuck this car. Grrr. Now I'll go back out the way I came. I walk up to Ruben's front door and knock. He answers before I can make my third.
Hi, I'm Ruben. Are you here about my Rolls Royce?
He asks in a panic. The next thing I know, he's going on about how scared he was and how long it would take to pay out. But I couldn't tell you much about the conversation. Here I am, with the victim in front of me, and all I can think about is that security footage. I've never seen a bear break into a car like this before. It was efficient, an in-and-out operation with almost surgical precision, covering all 4 quadrants of the interior in record time. It was as if man's greatest predator had shifted its focus, not towards bloodshed, but racking up the highest possible amount of auto damage. My God, they've evolved to crave capital losses over blood. This is bad. Whether it was the haunting nature of that video, or how utterly forgettable Ruben was, the conversation flew by without yielding any real clues. The initial questions passed quickly, and I made my way to the vehicle to take pictures and perform a visual inspection. The wreckage was just as questionable as the footage. The bear made a clear entry through a passenger door, scratches in the leather, slashes in the door panel. But honestly, I expected more damage from a 200-plus pound bear in a luxury car. These scratches were too neat, almost deliberate, inconsistent with the oafish nature of a beast in a foreign space. And maybe I'm a bit of a scat king, but I was kind of expecting to find some poop at the scene. I head back to my vehicle, running through my mental notes to prep for the next step, my head spinning with possibilities. Bear evolution? Petty crime? And now multiple bear attacks? This could be the biggest blow to the insurance industry since the great insurance drought of 2007. It can't be. I'll just watch the next security footage, and it'll be completely different, I'm sure. This is all just a big coincidence. Bear's back, bitches. Growl. A Mercedes? Grr, fuck you. You're just a fancy Jeep thing. Rawr. Bear shit. Well, that settles it. Ruben's car attack wasn't the only one. I'd even wager this was the same bear. But something about it feels off. Almost unnatural. Then again, it can open doors. It's already doing things no bear should. Let's check out the third victim's footage.
I hope nobody left the passenger door unlocked.
I can't watch anymore. It's too shocking. Too repetitive. This footage needs to get into the hands of scientists, and I need to find a way to not pay these claims.
We've already paid the claims.
My claims chief says, unfazed by the fight I put up.
How could you? I told you something was fishy, and it wasn't the residue on those claw marks.
You better lower your voice, Frond. You know who your superior is.
Yeah, I know who my superior is, but that doesn't make you right.
Besides, you haven't heard back from the biologist at California Fish and Wildlife. You can keep your investigation open, but we had to pay out those claims. You know how our turnaround times work.
This is bureaucratic bullshit.
Yeah, I may have lost my cool, but I had to stand for what was right.
I won't stand for those outbursts, Inspector Frond. Turn in your badge to the front door. You're on paid leave.
I rip the plastic badge off my hip and throw it at the businessman in front of me, getting in one last word before slamming the door.
I hated that picture anyway.
I stomp down the hallway like an adult toddler, thinking about how unfair and political this world has become. A man used to be able to cancel a hit and run just because he said so, and no one would bat an eye. Now I'm paying out claims before my investigations are even completed. At least this forced vacation gives me a chance to light up a J, let my rat tail down, and crank some dad rock to ease my middle-aged angst.
Hello?
Is this Insurance Inspector Frond?
I haven't been called that in roughly 13 hours.
This is Dr. Nigel Hammersberger from the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. We've held a fundraiser to gather the resources to review your footage, Mr. Frond, and we have your results.
My God, Dr. Burgle, that's great news. What is it?
I don't know how to tell you this, Inspector Frond, but that's clearly a human wearing a bear suit.
In January 2024, the California Department of Insurance received a claim stating that a bear had entered a 2010 Rolls-Royce Ghost parked at Lake Arrowhead in the San Bernardino Mountains and damaged the vehicle. Accompanying the claim was a video showing the animal entering through the passenger door, crawling inside, and thrashing the interior. However, further scrutiny of the footage raised questions about its legitimacy. With assistance from the Glendale Police Department and the California Highway Patrol, investigators uncovered 2 additional insurance claims filed on the same day in the same area. This time, the claims involved a 2015 Mercedes G63 AMG and a 2022 Mercedes E350, both supported by similar video footage. The recordings were sent to biologists at the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, who concluded that the bear in the videos was unmistakably a human in a costume. A search warrant executed at the suspects' homes uncovered a bear costume and a set of kitchen meat shredding claws used to mimic the damage. Ruben Tamrazian, 26, Arat Chirkinyan, 39, Fahi Muradukyan, 32, and Alfia Zuckerman, 39, were arrested and charged with insurance fraud and conspiracy. Authorities also issued an outstanding warrant for a 5th unidentified suspect involved in the grisly scheme. In total, the fraudulent claims defrauded insurance companies of $141,839. As this is a recent arrest, no sentences have been handed down yet. Well, how's that for an animal crime? I apologize for the misdirection, but when your country elects a wolf in wolf's clothing, it's only natural to end up with a criminal in bear's clothing. These are dark times, my friends. You can't even feel safe in the woods anymore. What looks like a bear might just be a man in disguise. I know we didn't technically get the animal crime we were hoping for today, but consider this a lesson in managing expectations, and more importantly, a reminder to always question what you're shown. Because whether it's through smoke and mirrors, the fine print and seemingly benign legislation, or a cheaply made bear costume, it's important to remember that no matter what you're being shown, you're probably getting defrauded.
Wowzer, you're probably getting defrauded.
I forgot how just abrupt that was, that ending.
You're like, yeah, you're being defrauded. Next. That music was giving me like 80s...
Dad rock.
Yeah, 80s dad rock. I mean, that's exactly what it was. And I think it's funny that they even had to send the video footage off to this wildlife company, because from the video I remember seeing was like anyone in their fucking right mind could have told you that it was a person in a bear costume. Like, I remember it not looking realistic at all.
I remember when you first saw it, you had said like he has a human ass because he didn't have like the big round midsection that a bear has. It was like a kind of a loose suit, so of course it like flowed very loosely because it's a lot of air, and yeah, it was not the big beefy bear look that you would expect.
That is so silly.
Also, just using the door and going right in, and the marks are very like, the marks weren't as sporadic and crazy. It's really just kind of like look like a few like big forks like poked the seats, and then a couple like scratches. But not even like very deep scratches either. Like some of the scratches didn't even break the leather. And it's like a bear would have accidentally broke the leather, most likely without even trying.
I love how, too, your bear voice, like, rawr, I'm a bear, rawr.
I'm
like,
a fucking bear.
That's literally the vibe that the video gave me. Yeah.
That story was, for me, very inspired by... It had like a very Anchorman inspired feeling for me. And then also, yeah, the music was, because I thought of him as like a lame dad who just like thinks he's the coolest. He wears like jean shorts and listens to dad rock because he's just like the best insurance inspector. That was pretty much my impression, especially when he says like, go home, light up a J and let his rat tail down.
Oh my God, I died at that part.
I forgot, like, I really liked the audio cue I did there where it was like, gonna try to get these not paid, and then the music starts and it cuts off, and we already paid the claims. Like, that was a good edit by me. I like that one. That one caught me off guard.
I loved all of it. Well, hit us with these updates. What did these people get charged with?
So, coming from NBC News, 3 people in California have been sentenced for insurance fraud and a bizarre scam. We already know what the scam is. 2 Los Angeles area men and a woman pleaded no contest to felony insurance fraud and were sentenced to a weekend jail program, followed by probation. The department said in a news release Thursday. 2, well, that's a typo. It says 2 off them. 2 of them were ordered to pay over $50,000 in restitution. A 4th person faces a court hearing in September, so that unnamed person is still floating around, and for some reason, they were unnamed, and all their stuff just seems to be delayed compared to everybody else. I don't wonder why that is.
Weird.
So yeah, that's really all the only update we have. They both just had to do a weekend jail program and probation on top of coming up with $50,000, which, if you're a person who actually can afford a Rolls Royce and you're not just living outside of your means,
right,
then that might not be the worst thing in the world for you.
Yeah, but also they clearly were living outside of their means, because also why would they do the scam?
Right.
You know, if you can afford it, why not just enjoy that fancy ride?
Right. I believe that was what you had said when you first heard it, was it seemed like they were living outside of their means, which
yes,
I can agree with that.
I think so. I think that they realized how in over their heads were, so they're like, I've got an idea. Get the bear suit.
It's like a friend group, and they all are just like, why did we all on the same week just go buy really nice luxury cars? That was so stupid. What were we thinking?
So does it say, was just one of them in the bear suit, or did they all take turns?
Let's see. After a search warrant, detectives found the bear costume in the suspect's home. It just says someone dressed in a bear suit. I mean, I guess if they're pleading no contest, they probably, nobody fessed up to it.
Right.
It could be like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bear Suit, and they're all trading it.
It magically fits all of them, even though they have completely different body types. Yeah.
Yeah, or it's just one guy doing it and, trusting, but nobody's going to screw him over.
Wow. That's really fascinating. That is a silly one. I love a good detective story, so that one really is just such a good listen. And so silly.
I forgot that I teased it as an animal story, too.
Yeah, you got all our hopes up.
Oops.
Hey, that's what we do here. We like to build you up and cut you down.
Yeah, that's the art of the storytelling,
Well, they had to pay way more money than JT, but, I mean, they did also commit fraud. He was just drinking his martinis.
Yeah, they were seeking $142,000 in damages, so about $50,000 each, yeah. Looks like they might have even lost a little more than what they were shooting for.
Yeah.
Together, anyway.
How ridiculous. Oh, my God. It's crazy that it takes that long for us to get the updates
of
what people are charged with. Like, geez.
But speaking of which...
Speaking of which, my final story, you guys, I wrote it back in 2022. This next story actually came out when we were still sarcastically calling our show Seriously Sinister. Before we went by Live, Laugh, Larceny, which so glad we ended up changing that in the end. But yeah, this is a big throwback story. It is an older story, but with a very recent sentencing update. So without further ado, from episode 84, Buffalo Jills and the Buffalo Who Buffalo, let's listen to my buzzin' story and discuss the updates afterwards. A petty criminal is only as good as their weapon of choice. In the past, we've told stories about spark plugs being used as destructive ammunition, hot soup replacing mace, and even cat turds turning into atomic stink bombs.
While some tools are more user-friendly than others, it is always fascinating to see which one a small-time lawbreaker will choose. Today's crime that I'll be dramatizing involves an extremely unusual weapon of choice, one that is sure to leave you buzzing. Rory Woods was a 55-year-old woman living out the latter half of her life in Hadley, Massachusetts. She was a peculiar yet confident woman with graying hair and a permanent smirk on her face. Rory never understood why it was so difficult for her to make new friends or to keep lovers. In conversations and on her online profiles, she was always very open about her two passions in life, which were being angry and bees. Not only was Rory a professional beekeeper, but she loved everything about bees. She included honey in every meal she ate, only wore the colors yellow and black, and always moisturized her lips with Burt's Bees chapstick. Even though she loved working with bees, her favorite emotion continued to be anger. She found peace while yelling at her television, "Not another commercial," and honking her car horn at innocent pedestrians. It kept her feeling young. Beyond the time spent with her bees, Rory desperately wanted to find her own hive of like-minded and angry people. So she went to the one place she knew she could find it: Facebook. Scrolling through different groups, she found a local anti-eviction protest group. Although she didn't know much about evictions, protesting sounded like an activity she would thoroughly enjoy. "I'm angry as hell!" Rory knew this wouldn't be an easy group to penetrate, but she had something that guaranteed to make her the new queen bee. The latest group posting was about an upcoming eviction happening in a nearby town called Longmeadow. This was the perfect opportunity for Rory to make her mark on this new group of prospective friends. On October 12th, 2022, the day of the eviction came. Rory gathered up all of her protesting equipment and loaded it onto a trailer attached to her SUV. As she drove, she nervously tapped her steering wheel and spoke to herself reassuringly. "You've just gotta be yourself, Rory. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee." She pulled up to the eviction house on Memory Lane to find the yard already full of protesters with their signs. They were chanting in unison and marching in circles. And multiple police cruisers were pulling up to the residence. "What are those pathetic and flimsy signs going to do?" Rory thought to herself. "Now is my moment." She quickly exited her SUV and walked over towards the trailer she was pulling behind. That is when Rory looked proudly at what she had hauled with her. Crates upon crates of buzzing bees. As soon as Rory pulled up to the house, an officer began approaching her to see what she was carrying on the trailer. She had to act fast before he stopped her. Rory lifted off a large wooden lid from one of her bee crates, allowing a swarm of angry bees to be released into the tense air. The approaching officer scuffled with Rory while trying to close the crate's lid, but ultimately caused more chaos by knocking over and opening other crates of bees in the process. A couple bees began to sting the officer before he successfully placed the lid back onto the crate. Rory ran back to her SUV and slipped on her full protective beekeeper's outfit to prepare for round 2 of her sting operation. Other officers and bystanders had approached the SUV to see what was going on and were surprised by the flock of rage-filled insects.
Our weapons are useless against them.
Rory, now in her beekeeper's suit, lifted up another crate of bees and began carrying it to the front porch of the eviction house. An officer warned Rory, stating, "Ma'am, some of us officers are allergic to bees." Rory responded from underneath her protective hood, "Oh, you're allergic? Good." Officers surrounded Rory before she could open the next crate and handcuffed her. Unfortunately for Rory, there was no bee suit that could protect her from the law. She was arrested and is facing multiple charges, including 4 counts of assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and disorderly conduct. Only one officer went to the hospital after he experienced an increased heart rate due to the bees, but was released later that same day. Luckily, no one was seriously injured from the incident. Chief Deputy Robert Hoffman was quoted saying, "Never in all my years of leading the Hampton County Sheriff's Civil Process Division have I seen something like this. I'm just thankful no one died because bee allergies are serious. I hope that these out-of-county protesters will reconsider using such extreme measures in the future, because they will be charged and prosecuted." To all of you petty criminals listening, beware. And remember that weapons are never a good idea. For cat turds are meant to stay in the litter box. Hot soup is to be cautiously ingested. Spark plugs are there to do whatever the hell spark plugs do. And bees are meant to be treasured and saved. The petty crimes committed today will only come back to bite you tomorrow.
That is a throwback.
Such a big difference.
It is such an insane big difference for how you do your audio now. It feels so much more like you're inside of the room that it's happening in now, where like back then it was like, yeah, you had sound effects, we had voices, but it's just a different ball game.
Yeah, the way I could say so many different things about the way I did it back then. So that was a song that I made myself because that was within the first 100. So that was a song I did. And then, yeah, it was almost like what we were doing for the first whatever. It wasn't until I started using other people's music as the background that we started doing different styles, because up until then it was almost always like it's creepy heavy music or like dark dramatic music and then like a talking head in a documentary, almost like recounting a story. And so it's like we take a pause for the sound effect instead of it's like you're in the atmosphere of the scene sometimes. So yeah, it was a lot easier to do it like that back then.
I'm sure it was. Well, let me just jump into the updates on this one. From wwkp.com, the name of this article, "Woman Gets Jail Time for Beehive Attack Against Sheriff's Deputies During Longmeadow Eviction." So at the time, I didn't know what the charges were at all, because this just came out this year. So Woods was set to report for trial on Tuesday, August 5th at Springfield District Court. However, she failed to appear. She was found at a motel in Tennessee and taken into custody there, where she remained for over 3 months after refusing to waive extradition back to Massachusetts. A warrant was then issued, and she was returned to the Commonwealth and was placed in the custody of Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Hampton County Sheriff Nick Cochise stated the incident was unlike anything his team had ever seen or experienced.
So she got 3 months in jail because of the warrant, but that's not because of the bee thing yet.
Yeah, that's not the full charge. That's just because she was like, "Nana, nana, boo, boo, I don't want to come with you." So Woods was later found guilty of 4 counts of assault and battery and 2 counts of assault. Following the verdict, she was sentenced to 6 months in jail. That's actually quite a long time.
Yeah, really.
Hampton County District Attorney Anthony Galini expressed satisfaction with the outcome, saying, "We're very pleased. We appreciate the jury's thoughtful consideration of the case. People were doing their job, and they confronted something very dangerous. We're happy and justice has been served." Woods will serve 6 months in jail. The sentence is in addition to the nearly 150 days she previously served at the Franklin County House of Corrections.
Damn
Damn is right. So
What a
she's
fool.
like nearly a year
Yeah, you added 3 months onto that because you ran. Ugh. I mean, I guess looking at it, like I can kind of see why you would get 6 months because it was so premeditated. You can't make the argument that, oops, I accidentally let my bees out at another place where there were people. Like that is so, like
Totally.
Like we had said at the time, like a Batman villain kind of thing. Like you really had you wanted to do something and you had like a big grandiose way of doing it.
Yeah, and the fact that on their footage, they captured her being like, oh, you're allergic? Good. Like, that's a literal quote. And bee allergies and bee stings, even if you're not allergic, bee stings are very fucking painful. And then you throw allergies onto it and someone could have died. That does make it a bit more serious for harm done, but I mean, I get it. I don't ever want anybody evicted. Like, that's sad too, unless you're like a weird squatter. Then you can go.
I remember it around the time this came out, and I don't think I ever brought it back up. The situation, I believe, was that the home was actually a like historic house, I believe. And it was like a real screwy deal. Like they were evicting the guy, but some people were saying that the town was being racist towards the guy, and it was like a whole drama thing. So that's why more people cared than like what you would expect about an eviction.
More than just a normal eviction. Yeah, you're right. I did read something about that, but yeah, so people were very involved on Facebook, making groups about it, creating events, and one person just had to come and ruin the party by bringing a bunch of bees.
Of all the things, like if you just went and got like a big thing, like a big tub of water or something, and you like doused them all in something, like you know what I mean, like that. Like,
yeah, like water
that's way better than
balloons.
bees. Yeah, like
Mayonnaise, anything.
That's such a crazy thing to do, and like obviously, and like you wrote that she was an angry woman. Like I think you nailed that, and she's got a lot of emotions or something going. It's especially running away and then trying to maybe not get caught.
Sounds like she's definitely rebellious as well. Like she didn't want to follow any of the rules, it sounds like. So, yeah, I think I pretty much...
There was video of her doing it, right?
Yes, there is video.
Now that we have a video guy, we can reuse this shit.
Yes. I believe that it's all captured on footage.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'll triple check that. Don't quote me, I guess, for 100% certainty. But I remember, I think, seeing it.
Okay, good.
Interesting just to hear that throwback. That was a wild crime. I mean, they all were. And again, it happened in 2022, and we're just now getting the charges for this. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, but I guess we know because she ran from her court date there and then had to spend 3 months in jail. Yeah, so that's probably why it took so long. Not just because slow court systems, but she added to it.
Yes, she did.
Damn,
wow.
That's so crazy. Like, you get 6 months in jail, and you've got an additional half of that, because you ran.
Right.
Like, just looking at it in a fraction kind of way like that really bugs me to be like, shit, like, you almost gave yourself, like, the same sentence again.
Yep.
Dumb.
Well, those were 3 pretty drastically different crimes, and it was kind of fun being able to look back at them this week and give you all an update. We've been wanting to do an updates episode for a while, and because of all the big things happening with CrimeCon and everything, this just felt like a perfect time to do this. So I hope everyone enjoyed it this week.
I hope so too. I mean, we were looking for reasons for us to listen back on these older things, and hey, I think more ways that we can get more miles out of these stories. I mean, we put a lot of work into them, and it is interesting that I don't really have your responses to a lot of these. So
I know.
It is something that any excuse that I can find to do this, we might just have to do it here and there.
I know. I think it would be something fun for us to continue to do. And yeah, if you are new, we did get a pretty big jump in listenership after collabing with our girls over at Dating Detectives. We do plan to do even more collabs with them, so be on the lookout. But if you're new, like I said, this isn't typical. We explained what our normal episodes are, but this is kind of a great episode to kind of just see what we're all about and to get a feel for our stories throughout the years, the many years of pettiness that we've done. So
yeah, I mean, like your B story there was almost exactly, it was 99 episodes before my Bear episode. So like
That's crazy.
exactly 100 episode difference almost in quality.
Totally. We've only gotten better and more in depth with our writing, with the editing, with the production, with how we think out lines and character development, and everything has just evolved so much. And just listening back to these older ones has definitely proven that for sure.
Oh yeah. That B one, I used to edit the lines and put the spaces for the sound effects. So that's why it seemed like it was a little slower in between lines.
Yeah.
Now, and also I know the sound effects by heart and how long they are and everything, and I can do it as I go.
It's a whole new ball game, a whole new world, if you will.
Close your eyes.
Well, I hope that everyone is having the best week. And remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to never go to Vegas again, baby.
Bye.
See ya.
If you like this episode and want even more throwbacks, follow us on Patreon.
And have you ever committed insurance fraud? If so, tell us about it on social media. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or Threads. Live, Laugh, Larceny.
And what's the weirdest animal you've released to get out of an arrest? If you have one, send us your petty crime stories to livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And give our show the same rating Amanda would give a Vegas buffet. 5 stars, I rolled my way out. Give us 5 stars wherever you rate podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.